What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Aiden's World in Sports. Today, I got another very special guest for you guys. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
My name is Elgin Bennett, class of 22, Kansas State baseball commit.
All right, and perfect. So you segued right into my first question. Kansas State baseball commit. What stood out at Kansas State above all the other schools that you were looking at and that offered you? And, what was just that deciding factor to end up at Kansas State?
Kansas State recruited me real differently. After I decommitted from the University of Illinois, a bunch of schools reached out, but what was different about Kansas State was that they immediately hopped on a flight and immediately came to see me play. Like, that was the first thing they wanted to do. What really stood out to me was the love that they really showed firsthand and like in person, which was different than all these other schools just reaching out like online on Twitter, calling me and texting me. And that I just really like that about Kansas State. They're very hands-on. I remember I think before another game, they wanted to come see me hit at a field before, you know what I'm saying, like a little workout before. They came to see me hit. And I feel like that was just very different with their coaching staff, and they really care about their players. So that's what made it different for me.
Definitely. And that's important to, have that personal factor and not just have that factor of I know they want me, but where does that interest, reach its climax? So definitely important. And now, go ahead.
I was saying it's like a big feeling, to know, they really care about your well-being and, your development. And that's, even before you get on campus. So that was really big for me.
Yeah, definitely. And so, always great to, find a home for yourself at a college. It's always tough, especially, you stated decommitting from Illinois. Obviously, no hard feelings, but, there's just things that factor of where home is. Now, you might be faced with a tougher decision come July. What are you thinking about right now? What are you looking at, in terms of the MLB draft and in terms of, what happens if when you do get that name called, if that happens and, Kansas State, MLB?
I've been having a bunch of conversations with my agent, whether or not school's the best choice or whether or not the draft's the best choice. We've just been having those conversations well, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? And we've just been having to go through those situations and really just lock in and really decide what we're going to do based off the factors that a team may say or based off the factors they might not say. So really just coming together with the family, coming together with the agent, having those conversations well, what do you think is the best course for me? Because at the end of the day, I want to play baseball as long as possible. So if going to college for 3 years and working hard in college is going to get me to playing the MLB for X amount of years, longer than me going out of high school, then we're going to do that. So just having those conversations with them has really been just important, and I'm just blessed enough to have a good agent behind me. So I know what I'm saying, I know what I'm looking for, and I know my worth going into July.
Definitely. And that's important. And, obviously you had a great year this year and you really, jumped on a lot of teams' radars last year as well. Had 2 great seasons, exceptional, and shot up in your perfect game ranking, and everything just kind of went up for you. And so, there has to be something that in your mind that, what was that approach? What really clicked for you to help that and make that happen?
I felt like I really had I was able to compete with the top players in the nation, but I was really never given the opportunity. So I'll say even before this high school season and before last fall, I really say started my junior year, because junior year is the most important year. It's your last year summer ball. Last year that MLB scouts can really get to see you, and college scouts on normal circuit. So I feel like it really started my junior year summer, just playing for the number 1 team in the nation, East Cobb, with Tamar Johnson, RJ, Caden Martin, all of them, Cam Carter, just having all those top ranked nationally look guys on my team just really kind of boosted me to work harder and to really perform. And I feel like I did perform at that high level, which really put me on the map to these MLB scouts. And after letting them know, like, I'm able to compete with them and able to be on the same playing field as them, it's kind of just about continuing to let them know that. So going to these big events like Perfect Game National, East Coast Pro, going to these PDP workouts, going to these draft workouts, and just really competing with some of the top guys in the nation. I feel like that's really what separated me from others. And like to also have like my own skill set different from these other top guys in the nation. Like that's what really separated myself, and that's what really let them know like I can be one of these top guys. So I feel like that's really when I started to get nationally recognized for my talents.
Yeah, and that's great to, it's something that where you realize that you make other guys better and other guys can make you better, and you build and learn off of each other, which is something that in sports a lot of people do, and it goes unnoticed at times. And I don't think many, especially people from, a fan standpoint, they don't see it as much as players do, especially when they're growing. And so another mindset question I wanted to ask you, you go up to the plate. What's your approach every time you come in? Even if you're facing a really good pitcher, what changes if it does change? What's it like walking into that batter's box?
Um, I'll say my number one approach, no matter what, is hit the ball hard, try and kill the pitcher with the ball, and really just try and stay even kill with what I do. Like I don't want to be necessarily too aggressive, and I don't necessarily want to be too selective at the plate. I want to have controlled aggression in everything I do. And at the end of the day, like in every at bat, I want to hit the ball hard. Like that's my goal, to hit the ball hard and to really try and keep myself up the middle and kill the pitcher with the ball. So I'll say that's really my approach. I mean, if you really want to get technical, I'd say like, middle away, stay inside the ball. But at the end of the day, when I'm in the box and I'm at my best, I'm thinking hit ball hard, and swinging pitches in the zone, stay within me, just do what I do. So hit the ball hard.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I think that that's as good as it gets, and so many of the top players would just say that controlled aggression. So I definitely can agree with that. And I mean, not that I'm anywhere near the level of any of the guys that I've talked to, like you and so many other of these players. But definitely hit the ball hard and just try and just kill that pitcher is definitely something I've heard so many times. And I think that's so important for these hitters to get into their heads, just to, try and keep themselves in there at bats and not just get too ahead of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. And so one more thing I wanted to ask you, and then I have two fun questions. So talk about what's your role as a leader. What kind of a leader are you? You one of those vocal leaders, a lead by example kind of guy, or something that is a little more unconventional? There's so many ways to be a leader, and what do you, what's your main role and how you think you lead?
I say first thing first, I want to lead vocally. I want to lead by telling somebody like through my own experiences. Well, I know that this and this worked for me, but that might not work for you. But you could just listen and take that as an as advice. Like so many people ask me, well, how do you get faster at the 60? You run a 6-1, run a 6 flat. How do you get faster? Like, what's some advice? And I'll try and like lead them in a good direction, like with some tips and tricks. But at the end of the day, like I can only open the door and you have to walk through it. Like you have to take my advice. I'd say like on the baseball field, like playing with some of my peers and underclassmen, like during high school season, I'd say I like to lead by example. Like at first, I'd like to tell them something vocally, and then I would want them to see me do it physically by example, and to see that it works for me, to know like I didn't tell them something wrong, and for them to try that and see if that might work for them, if the adjustments I make might work for them, and just trial and fail, or trial and error, and just trying to get them better day in and day out. So I mean, that's the type of leader I am. I like to always keep my guys fired up. I never want their heads to be down. I always want them to play with the same energy I play with. And I feel like if we all can be on the same mentality, same level of energy, then like we're gonna be a hard team to beat.
Definitely. That definitely good mentality and good mindset. Just keep that energy up and stay in the ball game because it's never
Yeah.
never over. I think people watching this college baseball World Series could tell you that. I mean, anyone could say that, but
Yeah.
definitely important. Now, I'm not going to take up too much of your time, so I got two fun questions for you. Let's say you're in the locker room with the team or on a bus before the big game, championship game, whatever it may be.
Mhm.
You have aux, you have one song or one artist. Who you playing? Get the
I have
team
one
hyped.
song. Shoot. Got one song. Probably Love Sosa. I'm gonna turn the guys up. I'm gonna play Love Sosa. I'm gonna turn them up.
Definitely a very good hype song.
Yeah.
No one's walking on the field in love Sosa and losing the game. So
Yeah, like we're thinking about kill, like win, like you know what I mean.
yeah.
That's what I'd play.
That's a good choice. Then the second question is you win that big game and you get to tell the boys where they all going to eat. What's
Where we going to eat at?
where you guys going to eat at?
Hey man, we're going to Hooters, baby. Let's do it. Going to Hooters, baby.
Hey, good choice. I haven't heard that one yet. I heard Chick-fil-A. I heard Chipotle. I got
Nah, bro. We going to Hooters, man.
definitely one of the best ones for a hype meal after a win, for sure. All right,
Sure.
I'm gonna have you on again. Definitely. Thank you for coming on. It's a pleasure having you. Anything else you want to say for the people watching?
Just keep working, man. Baseball's a game of failure. You're gonna fail more than you succeed. Just know that it's a tough game to play. It's not for everybody. So trying to keep it as real as possible. But appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, anytime, man. That's Elgin Bennett for you guys. Thank you so much for watching Aiden's World of Sports. I'll be back with you guys again.